What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for June 30th, 2025. There are not a lot of updates, but the ones that we did get were incredibly impactful this week. The referral program has been revamped, and it's improved for nearly everyone, and material quality is in, kind of, but not really. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike. Stop by and say hi. If you haven't yet, I really enjoy seeing you guys over there. We have a ton to cover with PTU patches, but there's no sponsor this week, so if you enjoy the show, you can support by simply subscribing to the channel, picking up some merch at saltemike.tv, or leaving a super chat or thanks or whatever they're called, and then hit the join button. Lots of options there if you guys are up to it. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get to those patch notes. We had nothing on Monday, so we started out on Tuesday with a Wave 2 4.2.1 PTU. And with the features, they stated they made some balance updates to resource gathering. And I think we all assume this is on and around the new event. But as you may have seen all around YouTube this week, salvaging did get a really big update. So where it could be super profitable again, but maybe that's what this was in reference to. Not sure. I did a few event missions, and the Protect Ship mission seems to be working perfectly now, which is great, as it offers a purely combat experience to complete the event. But the amount of SCU they hold is quite low. So I think the mission I showed was like about 25 SCU, and you need, I think, over 2,000 to complete the whole track or something like that. So when I completed the mission, for some reason, all the rewards seemed to trigger. So now we know what we're getting, and some of the stuff seems pretty nice. And lastly, I tried more cargo related missions, and the Caterpillar seems to have the same amount of cargo as before. So in reference to that other thing, I'm not seeing any balance there. They also mentioned an increase in carrying capacity, and I checked out most of the backpacks, but the tooltips here are showing an increase for sure. But the number you see over your inventory at the top has not changed at all. And that's the one that seems to, you know, where the percentage bar fills up. So not really sure what's going on here. It doesn't seem super impactful. I wouldn't pay too much mind to it. The most important line we'll see all this week as well is that they disabled the ground flight turbulence in 4.2.1, as it was implemented really poorly without foresight to how it impacts other things across the game, like mining was impossible on windy planets because that increases your instability. It was really dumb. So it was not good to have, and I'm glad they removed it. Also, we'll talk more about that in other updates. Wednesday, all we have is a message of the day. They simply let us know that they were not getting a patch out that night, but they planned on doing some hot fixing. And yeah, that's where we get to Thursday, where we had that hot fix, and we got a lengthy downtime to implement that fix, where many things they tried to tackle during the PTU were resolved. So first off, some client crashes and an annoying bug that caused you to unlock a target randomly when in a ship. Also, the pearls on the Apex Valacar were not dropping. They are now, which is really great, as these are in pretty high demand for Wikelo enjoyers. And then Thursday, again, we had a Wave 3 4.2.1 PTU, and this was the largest and some of the more impactful changes that we've seen in the game in some time. The biggest change is the missions for Wikelo themselves. All the ships are now split off into their own missions. So if you want to say, say like a Wikelo F8, right? You can accept that specific mission, turn in those items. It's no longer a rolling of the dice on what ship you're going to get, which is a fantastic change. I love the direction they went with it here. They also changed a ton of the recipes, and feel free to sound off on this, as I feel their choices are severely lacking. We have so many items in the game, and they're super underutilized, right? They also are using things like contested zone keys, where you're already getting ships from contested zones. Definitely give your feedback on this. I don't necessarily care that, some of the stuff is related to PvP. I would like to see more stuff related to PvE, so you're seeing different groups of players participating in this, and maybe trading with each other. We've seen that become a really interesting thing over the last month or so. They explain their thought process on the recipes with core content items like Karenite from Align or Mine or Valakar items from the Apex. This doesn't explain the lack of variety though in the item turn-in. There are rare content items like pure Karenite, more on that in just a moment. Then general content items like Ace Interceptor helmets, maybe script they mean here as well. They're adding security in green zones again as well, but they never did anything, so I wouldn't expect much there. There were a bunch of updates here. They added pure Karenite, but I don't think anyone has seen it yet because you can't remove the batteries from the wall at Align and Mine. So yeah, I have not seen it. Let me know if you have, if it looks any different or anything like that. I would love to have shown it to you today, but it is literally impossible. And then Valakar pearls do not have their quality. In the notes, it said they would have 5 different types. We checked all 18 pearls off of a worm kill on the PTU, and not a single one had a different description. It seemed bugged, so I sent in that information. We'll see if it gets fixed for next week. And lastly, the Volt pistol absolutely slaps. It's a full auto with 60 rounds pistol and does a ton of damage. It's essentially an SMG. It doesn't really have any VFX right now, so I might expect a lot of that to change. And then Friday, we went all waves, 4.2.1 PTU, and again, that's the real thing to unpack here, is that it's already all waves, so hopefully we get some good testing and not a whole lot of issues with this patch. We don't know when it's coming, but we'll see. Yeah, so the Reclaimer is really the only interesting thing. It has 7 total PDCs now, and of course, they hit pretty hard. I got a few kills at the OLP on NPCs. I feel that PDCs are really nice for an industrial ship. Let me know what you guys think about this, but I love the idea of having to worry less about missiles when you're in that big, kind of huge ship, right? But the thing that I struggle with is the fact that PDCs feel more like an offensive weapon than a defensive tool. That has always kind of been my struggle with them. Let me know what you guys think about it. But for me, it was always something that's supposed to shoot down missiles, not something that's supposed to shoot down other players. And that's how people are using it. And it just doesn't seem right. But again, you might like it. You're free to your opinion, obviously, just how I am as well. But I just don't think it should be an offensive weapon. I think it promotes solo flying giant ships, which just is never the intention, was never the intention, and yeah, so I think that feedback there is valid, but if you feel another way, I mean, your feelings are valid too. The Wikelo missions still don't have the ships that they're associated with in their description when you're looking at them. So for now, take a look at this guy Chris's sheets. It's linked in the description. It's great. And sadly, I still could not see pure Karenite or Valakar Fang, as Hathor was still broken, and I was told the pearls are still stock in their descriptions. So that was all the patches this week. That was a lot of stuff that is actually meaningful, Wikelo being the biggest one. So let's move into other updates, because there was no videos or anything like that. All right, and we'll start out with a sneak peek. This still appears to be the RSI Meteor, but there are 2 key things here to point out. Looks just like a Mantis. So as speculated, there will be something that looks like the Mantis out there, but more combat ready. And there appears to also be a very large bespoke weapon at the bottom there. So yeah, it's pretty goofy. If you actually mirror these together, it kind of looks ridiculous in my opinion. I don't know. Then we got the referral program update. Yeah, so most of this stuff we have talked about at length on the channel over the last few months. The goal here is to revamp the current referral program because the rewards were not good. And there was a lot of drama around the fact that the old program was getting sunsetted. They heard your feedback. More on that in just a second. The main change here is that an item for every referral will be there at the start. So between 1 and 10, you're going to get something, and maybe, you know, more often after 10 as well. And they're also giving 50,000 credits for a referral instead of 5,000 because, yeah, the games economy is, well, I'm not going to say anything, right? It's just silly at this point. But I think the most important thing is that you're going to keep all of your prospects. So those are people that signed up using your code, but probably have not made a purchase yet, or a purchase of $40 or more. And you could still make progress on the old ladder. That's the biggest one, is the old ladder is not going away. That's where they heard our feedback on. And the new ladder you're gonna be making progress on them at the same exact time with those prospects. So your current referrals, for example, I've shown that I'm, I think like 150 away from the next tier at like 500, right? And I'm still going to be able to hit that 500 tier if I ever get there on the old track. But I will also, any new people, those 150 new people that I get are going to hit me at 150 on the new ladder. So that's kind of how that's going to work. And I think that they did a really good job of listening on that front. The only people that seem affected are the giant creators that are, or the kind of creators that came later to Star Citizen. I wonder what my referral would be if we had them in 2013, right? But at the same time, the number of referrals that these guys have given has been insane, and they have not added the last or further past 2,000 referrals, and that's their criticism. There is like, hey, I've 10,000 or something. What am I going to get? It affects so few people. I don't think anybody really cares, but they said they were going to do it, so hopefully they do. We'll see on the 2nd. By the way, this is all happening on July 2nd, so yeah, pretty soon. And then for dev posts, we'll start out with Turbulence. This has been widely contested thing, so again, they added to the game, and this, I'm just pointing out that Yogi came in and explained that he knows where the issues are. And yeah, as you saw, it obviously got removed. But the thing I really want to talk about here is he also responds to a question about keybinds. And he let us know that there's a redesign of the keybind menu, which is really, really good. And just engineering work seems to be getting in the way. Then Elliot, who made a post on Spectrum about the Wikelo changes before that patch had gone out, he replied to that same thread with this: cargo missions will now be split based on the amount of cargo they're asking you to move, basically. This is a good, for now, solution. But I explained this, in my live stream about how I felt about this. Is this only helps some people, right? Cargo haulers are looking for the types of cargo that they're moving. They're looking for the locations that they're going to. They're looking for where they're coming from, right? It's more than just the amount of cargo. There's probably going to need to be some filter system or something like that in the future, but this is a really decent start. And something I don't normally do is I'm going to post the questions for SCL thread here in dev post. This SCL should be a big one, but I don't expect much from it. The topic is about how we acquire things in the game, but the way the game is funded, with the way the game's funded, the lack of depth to, if you look on an NPC's body that you kill, some really nice looting at PvP locations, but then you have tier 0. I'm not sure what to expect from this one, but I'll remain optimistic that we'll get a glimmer of hope that this game might be fun for someone like me still. But guys, that's where I'll leave it. I do apologize. I'm a little under the weather. My nose is just stuffy. I don't really feel sick. So if you heard that, yeah, my bad. Can't really do anything about that though. And yeah, that was Week in Review. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, like I had said earlier, if you guys want to support the channel, best thing to do is just subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, just leave a comment, right? But if you want to go above and beyond, you can with the join button and a super thanks or anything like that. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate you. And yeah, catch you next week.